everybody, how you doing? My name is Artie Hoffman, and today's topic is the pleasures of addictions are very hard to let go. And the reason why I say the pleasure of addictions, it almost sounds contradictory, but it's not. Addiction satisfies everybody in the moment. It's an emotional gratification, all right? But yet the long-term effects are very harmful. That goes with every addiction. It could be with drugs, it could be with sex, it could be with gambling, it could be with obsessions with a partner. And what happens, or with smoking, what happens is that when you're smoking, all right, it's satisfying you in the moment. You know, it's literally your best friend in the moment, that cigarette. And it gives you that emotional comfort. And then people also go for that, but yet what it's doing, it's hurting you inside. It's hurting your body inside. So long as you're able to walk and talk and still breathe, even though that cigarettes are very harmful, if you're still able to operate your life, you're going to keep doing this, even with you knowing that it's harmful to you. So it really doesn't have that much an effect on you, but yet, you know, well, it does have, I apologize, it does have an effect on you, long-term effects. But because you don't see instant results in the pain, instant results, so it allows you to keep on going and going until it's too late. And then the pains and the health starts taking a toll. Now, it's the same thing with eating. When you're starting to do with eating, you know, a lot of people use food as comfort, you know. So yes, you know, food isn't so bad. It's not. It really isn't. But so long as it's done in moderation. But yet now we're talking about addictions. So people don't know when to stop. And so what happens is that when they are, you know, fulfilling themselves, again, you're emotionally fulfilling your ego in the moment, but yet your body is showing a big difference. You know, you're growing outside of your comfort zone, you know, and then your insides. A lot of times, you know, even when the doctor tells you you shouldn't have salt, you shouldn't have sugar, you shouldn't have this, that, or the other thing, or breads, you know, our favorites. But because what's one little bite? What's one little more piece? What, you know, your ego is justifying why that one little more is okay. And your soul is saying, no, don't do this. You're going to feel really bad later. You know, it's like sometimes, a lot of times people say, sometimes the pleasure is worth the pain, you know, and it's not until the next day you have that guilty feeling. So you have your nighttime self and your morning self. Your nighttime self is going for it. Let's go for it. Let's have that booze. Let's stay up late. You know, let's eat till our heart's content. And then all of a sudden, you know, you go to sleep and your body's digesting all this crap that you took on, that the nighttime self took in. And then the morning self wakes up and you go, oh my God, what did you do to me? Night self, what did you do to me? And your morning self is like, oh, I feel like crap, you know. But this is because you're being seduced in the moment by these addictions. And it's the same thing with gambling. It's the same thing with sex. And with gambling, you know, people are always chasing after the high. A lot of times it's not just about the money. If you were to give a person who is addicted to gambling, if you were to give them $500,000 or $1 million and say, listen, if I gave you this money, would you stop gambling? In the moment, they would definitely, most of them would say yes. And some of them would say no. And those are your honest ones. Because what happens is that they're going after the rush because they always want more. All right? That's just the thing. You know, when I make it to $1,000, I'm going to stop. When I make it to $2,000, I'm going to stop. When I hit $1 million, that's when I'm going to stop. And then your ego always wants that. Let me just push it. Let me just push it. Nobody ever knows when to stop because they're chasing after the rush. And that's why we need, you know, help. We need professional help so that we could put things into perspective. So we can put things into perspective, you know, so that's why it's very healthy to go for professional help. What happens is that, you know, with people who are, you know, alcoholics, people who like to drink, you know, they're numbing themselves so they don't have to deal with their pain. So again, you know, like I'll give you an example. You know, a lot of times I like to give money to the homeless. You know, while I'm walking around the city area, regardless of where I'm at, you know, if I see somebody who needs a few bucks, if I have it on me, I'll share a few bucks if I could comfortably afford it in the moment. And I'll give it to them. Now, it doesn't make a difference to me whether they use it for drugs or alcohol. I'm hoping that they'll use it for food or for something beneficial, or maybe for a place to stay later on, that they save up enough money where they could have a comfortable night's stay. But who am I to judge? So I look at it that if they use that money for booze, or if they use that money for drugs, whatever, what they're doing is that they're emotionally satisfying themselves in the moment. If they use it for food or a place to sleep, then, that's a long-term positive thing. But again, who am I to judge? But everybody, again, has their addictions. And when it comes to sex, people are honestly constantly wanting to be emotionally, fed, emotionally taken care of, emotionally wanted or desired. So they make themselves very available or accessible or very easy when it comes to, sex. It's just they want that feeling of skin on skin, so that they could feel like that they're loved. And it's an illusion, because a lot of times after the other person gets what they want, it's like, hasta la vista, baby. But going back to the alcohol or the drugs, what it does, it numbs people from the responsibilities, and it keeps them from having to deal with the reality of life. So yes, it's satisfying them in the moment, but it's hurting them in the long term, because they're never resolving the issues of what all these problems are about. So it's really difficult to overcome addictions yourself. And so I really do suggest that anyone who is dealing with an addiction, please go for help. All right? Go for assistance so you have a third-party outside perspective to help you deal with why you're feeling like this. And if you're dealing with somebody who has addictions, you got to protect yourself, because these people don't know any better. And if you allow yourself to become a part of their problems is going to become a part of your problems. And you're saying, well, I'm just a nice person. Why is all this happening to me? So you have to learn to separate yourself until these people decide to get help, because you can't help somebody if they don't want to help themselves. So don't carry the guilt, because I could have done this, I should have done this, I should have done that. So don't do that to yourself, all right? Because everyone is responsible for their own life and their own actions. All right, you could show them help, but if they choose not to take it, well then they're not ready to heal. They just want to keep on going in this bad direction. So that's my outtake. That's my outlook on addictions and all that other good, crappy stuff, whatever you want to call it. All right, everybody, my name is Artie Hoffman. It was a pleasure sharing time with you. Now, check me out, because if I am a professional psychic and medium, so if you wish to get a private reading, whether it be in person or over the phone, just give me a call at 877-ANGEL02, or check out my website. I have a very cool website, and it's artiehoffman.com. And you can check out my other, videos, blah, 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 blah. And you can check out where I'm going to be performing. And as always, it's a great pleasure sharing time with you. You have a great day.